Hi, Justin. I just figure out a problem in the data file that probably I had not, considered. So, in this video, I'm just going to explain what was the issue and how I fixed it, and then compare the last, version of my tool with the tool that you have, and I will just compare the results and show and verify that my results are correct. So let's just take a look at the data file that we have. In the data file, so here this number is mentioning that we have 10,000 samples per second, right? So, and then this one is showing that, okay, it takes half a second for pre-sample data, and then here for uh, 0.05 second laser trigger. Okay, so um, okay, so because we have half a second pre-sample data, so this means that we will have 10,000 times half a sec point 0.5 is going to be the number of the sample data that we have, right? So we're going to have, so this means that we have 5,000 uh, sample data for the what was it, the pre-sample or something, yeah. And then so this number is showing that we should have 500 data points for laser trigger, right? So we have 500 for laser trigger. Now, so we should totally have 5,500 um, data points in the Excel file for in each row. So what I was considering before was that, okay, I just computed the average in the first 5,000 points, right? And then found the maximum of the rest of the data points. So I didn't actually consider 500 because uh, we I thought we only have 5,000 data points and then 500 data points for laser trigger, and that's it. But I just figured out that, oh, every row is, let's see how many data points we have in every row. So let's just calculate and count uh, the, the, the a whole row. Let's see how many data points we have. So we have 15,500 almost data points in every row. So there is a 15,500 total data points in a whole row, right? So this means that we almost have 10,000 data points that uh, that is it's not included here. I mean, so we have 5,500 data points for the pre-sample and the laser trigger, and then we have 10,000 points, which I don't know what it is. So before I was just considering that one we had just 5,000 and then 500 data points. That's it. But I just figured out that we have 5,500 and then we have 10,000 data points. So this 10,000 is probably, I don't know, it's like 1 second for I don't know. So you don't do anything after triggering the laser, probably. So you just wait for 1 second. So this was the problem that I had in my code before. So what I did right now is that I just fixed. So because before I was calculating the average for the first 5,000 points and then calculating the maximum displacement or the maximum position in the rest of the row, and I was not aware of that. Oh, in the row there's 500 points data points for the laser trigger, and there's 10,000 data points that I shouldn't consider, right? So right now I just fixed this problem in the last version of my code that I have attached to this email that I will send you right now, and So yeah, this is solved, and right now, so my code is absolutely right, correct. I think so, and so let's just take a look at the latest version of the code which I've sent to you. So this is the file. So it's 5 April 2013. I just put the today's date, and then so here it's the code, and it's actually the fixed version. So let's just try and see what we get out of it. Um, so let's select this file and process the data. Um, so yeah, so let's take a look at the maps. So the map is looking like this, and I think the results are actually more reliable because you were looking for probably something like that. You were just looking forward to locate the motor cortex of the brain, right? So so even if we show the map for only positive values, here you can see that, oh, here's probably the motor cortex. So I think the results are kind of better than before, but let's just get the grid of numbers, okay, and compare them with the numbers that you have sent to me. So using your previous version of tool. Okay, so let's take a look. Um, Even the first value here is not the same, and so none of the values are the same actually. So what I want to do right now is just manually calculate one of these cells and see that which of the tables is correct. So let's consider the second one, right? So this point. So the previous the the tool that you have is showing minus 0.07, and mine is showing minus 0.028. Okay, so let's go to the Excel file and compute this and calculate this point. Okay, so if we go to the Excel file, first let me just remove the X values. So let's say remove the X, that's all. Y, replace all. Okay, and then Control A, insert table, and okay, so let's sort the X values from smallest to largest, right? And so if we want to locate this data point here, it has the almost the minimum X value, but it's actually the second minimum, right? So here the lowest X value is this, and then the second one is this. So this is the X value, it's minus 900 for this data point, and it also has the maximum Y value. So let's see which of these has the maximum Y value. It's this one, right? So this is that data point. So let's just grab the whole, I mean the the entire row and cut it out, and let's go here and just paste it here, and then okay, so let's calculate the average of the first 5,000 data points here. Okay, so here we have to calculate the average of the first. Okay, so it's from this data point to, and we need to access 5,000 data points. Okay, so yeah, let's continue. So let's compute the average here for the first 5,000 data points. Uh, so the average of this, oh, oh yes, so the first 5,000 data points is going to be GP1. Okay, so this is the first 5,000 data points. We got the average. Let's calculate the minimum and also the maximum. So the minimum is, and then we're going to calculate the minimum and the maximum of the next 500 data points after the first 5,000. So let's say the minimum is going to be starting from GP1 to HCU1. Yep. And then here the maximum is going to be again the same range of data, and let's calculate the result. So the result is going to be let's say the minimum minus the average, and the other result is going to be the maximum minus the average, and here it is. So among these two values, the first one has a greater absolute value, so the result should be minus 0.028. So let's take a look at the results. Here it is. So this is what I have in my results, exactly the number, and this is the tool that you have, which got minus 0.07, and it's not correct. So I have attached the final version of my code to this email, and please let me know if you have any questions. Thank you very much. Have a nice day. Bye.